This is Soy,
And this is Dyra.
and you're listening to Hair and Whatever.
Unfiltered salon talk. Hey y'all, you're listening to Hair and Whatever, and this is Soy, and
up,
I
what up?
am Dyra, and we have special guest Lisa Bonner on our show today.
Hey.
Hey. Thanks for coming.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. She looks
Sound like
all
the twins.
fabulous.
Right. Got the fly hair.
Fly hair, fly skirt, loving that. Yeah.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit about yourself briefly. What, who you are, what you do.
I am, let's see. I am an entertainment lawyer. I am a world traveler. I'm
Trying to get there.
Yeah. I am a friend. I am a all-around badass, I guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Independent
Love it.
woman. I don't know.
love
That's
it.
my
Love that.
friends.
That's
That's kind of the highlight of who and what I am.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love the badass part.
Hey,
You know what I'm
if
saying?
you don't
Hey,
believe in nobody else,
That's what I was.
well,
I was
Right.
gonna say. You better claim it.
you better claim it.
Right.
Yeah.
So what we talking about, Soy?
So what we talking
Okay,
about? So today we're going to talk about let's talk short hair with Lisa because she just recently went through a transition from from long to short.
Yeah.
And I know that's big for a lot of women. And we're going to talk about her journey in the male-dominated field of entertainment law,
Media law,
media
yeah.
law, and like she said, traveling and just being a badass. So
Yeah.
we're going to get into it.
All right.
But first,
Let's give the hair crown. I know you're excited about
I'm
this hair crown.
excited about this hair crown.
The hair crown goes to Big Sean.
Looking all so daddy-ish,
He has this nice fro, no
Yes.
shirt on.
which helps.
His fro is everything. That's
Yeah.
what, he gets the hair crown.
Like,
of
I
the
love
week.
it. Like, he looks like straight out of the 70s. Like,
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
So that's our hair crown, Big Sean.
Shout out to Big Sean.
Hey, Big Sean.
All right, so let's get into the hair topic with Lisa.
Yeah.
So why did you cut your hair?
That's a really good question. In short, the short answer is I got tired of it.
Okay.
I just got tired of just, the curling irons. I still have curling irons, obviously, and flat irons and this, that, and the third. But I don't know, I had my hair cut short, maybe 20 years ago. And I was just like kind of over it.
Did you go from like a
That's what I was gonna
transition,
say.
like, because I've seen you like with like longer hair.
I had like hair pretty much
Yeah.
down there, and then at some point, like I had, just when I have color, I had experimented with extensions, not a weave, but just like extensions in addition to my hair,
Right.
to give me some length and blonde, so I don't burn out my hair.
Yeah, that's always a good choice.
Yeah, exactly, as opposed to lifting it, and I just got tired of it, and it was constant, in the salon, which I don't mind. Derek J does my hair, and he's great.
I like Derek J.
Yeah, he's wonderful, but it's just one of those things. I just got sick of it. I mean, I can do my own hair in between. I don't feel like I needed to go to the salon every week. No tea, no shade to Derek, because I like to see him.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, because I always, even with like short hair, I would feel like you have to go like a lot more too, I guess.
I mean, I could do it. I could do my hair under most circumstances, in between. I mean, it's not gonna look as fly as theirs, but I
Right.
did my hair this morning.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's a little probably weathered now just because of this heat,
Georgia
but-
humidity.
Yeah, and this humidity. But I
still looks
actually
good.
It still looks
thanks.
good, though.
I mean, like I got up, I worked out, and I shampooed it this morning.
and you worked out too.
Yeah.
That's a big part of my journey. But I just got tired of being a slave to my hair.
Yeah.
So I just decided, one day I'd been talking about it, and then I posted like a Throwback Thursday picture. I don't know, maybe it was at least 20 years ago, and people were like, "Oh my God, your hair looks so cute. You should cut it off." And I was like, Listen, so one day I started with one side. I shaved one side off and then left one side longer. And then I just kind of eventually went shorter and shorter and just cut it off.
Well, do you think that you were one of those women that like kind of like value the length of your hair?
No.
Okay. Before.
I mean,
yeah.
no. I always said like it's just hair. It'll
Yeah.
go back.
Girl.
And if I want long hair tomorrow, guess what?
Hello.
I can go buy some.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
And that was my whole thing. And
That's my mantra.
Atlanta is full of weavologists, and
Yeah.
I mean the world is now. So I was like, it'll grow back, and my hair
Right.
grows. My hair grows fast, or and like I said, I can buy some.
Right.
I don't care.
Because, they say, like, when women go through something in life, like, they kind of chop off their hair. Like,
It wasn't that serious.
It
to
wasn't,
me. No.
right.
I had been toying about it for a long time. I was just like,
there's a quote that says, like, when women cut, she's about to change her life.
oh yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, listen, it was changing my life in terms of I didn't have to be a slave to my hair. All
Yeah,
the
so
time.
that is a change.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I didn't go through anything in particular
Right.
that caused me to do that.
Right. That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I did the big chop, too. But, like, I like longer hair. I say when I turn 40. I'm not going to say when that is.
Why you ain't gonna say
okay,
when?
I got you by a lot, but
Why
okay.
you ain't gonna say when?
Yeah. What? Soon. But once I turn 40, I feel like I want to go like really short again because I love, I think it's very chic and, hair
Is
grows.
that your hair now?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Thank
I mean,
you.
Again, one of those things you can always buy
Buy.
something that
Right.
just
Because
like
people,
that.
right, you don't even know if this is my
yeah.
hair. It could be a
So,
wig.
It
Yeah,
could be.
and
Yeah.
plenty of people think it is.
Yeah.
according to
A lot
Yeah,
of people
comments.
ask me
Yeah.
if it's a wig.
Because that's the thing. That's the beauty of the wigs nowadays. You can get wigs to look just like your hair.
I mean, they look
Right.
fabulous.
Yeah.
Wigs, weaves.
No shade.
And you know what the thing is? It's just like I just like this whole subject. Sometimes it's just like I'm always like I love when women do this, but like to me it's so hard for me to relate when people be like making a big deal about cutting the hair, because it's just like it's just
Some
hair.
people, it's just hair, and some people look better with longer hair. Some people look better with shorter hair. The one thing I've been told, and I don't particularly know, but I mean, I've been told I have one of those faces that could wear short or long hair.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm consistently told that. I mean,
Yeah.
so whatever that means. I mean, some people, but I'm sure a lot of people who think that they won't look good with short hair are just
Actually,
probably afraid to cut their
to
hair
cut
off
their hair.
to really deceive.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you never know unless you try, or just
Right.
go and play with it and, weave your hair up and, get the weave cut off and play with it in the pixie cut.
Right.
You could even get short hair, like wigs and stuff.
right.
Yeah,
Like,
totally. Anything. So,
Yeah, as long as you wear it with confidence, that's what I feel like. CJ said that. Just wear it with confidence.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's with anything.
that's right.
But yeah, it's just like such a big thing, even in our like community. Like we have whole forums online, YouTube channels, like, with growth. It's just
Right,
like,
and
damn,
no
like-
shade,
and no
I
we
understand
understand-
people want to grow their hair, and that's
Yeah.
what they want in life, but we work in a hair salon, and we have a lot of clients that come in and say, well, I don't want to cut my hair, or I don't want to do this, or I don't want to do that, or
Or how much you cut? And wait, let me see. Hold on. Let me get
right,
the mirror.
and they're very, but to me,
Right.
you don't want to have long hair and have like
Damaged ends,
damaged
yeah.
ends. Like that just doesn't make sense
Yeah.
to us, And as a professional, you kind of like, it's hurting me inside.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. It's something that I think people have to be comfortable with it. And one thing I also wanted to point out, there's this whole, natural hair movement, which is great. But I feel like there is a shame now against women who are relaxing or otherwise texturizing
Yeah.
or using a pressing comb with their hair. Honey, if you want to relax your hair or press your hair, girl, do it. Like,
Right.
That's
I'm-
true, and I
am
say that. It
so
just has to-
tired of people like
shaming.
shaming people. If you want a relaxer, get a damn relaxer,
Right.
and don't let anybody tell you different. If your hair can sustain it and if it works for you, do
Right.
it. Because some people are leaving these weaves in for 3 months and,
And
have
that's
no
not
edges.
right.
Right.
Or
and their
the
hair
lace
doesn't
fronts
breathe.
with the glue,
right,
and
then
they don't
they have no edges, and that's the thing. Like, whatever works for you. I'm all about healthy hair, and a lot of people work out a lot, and it's not
conducive to
conducive
their
to
lifestyle.
having
Just the maintenance of it.
Right.
And
I remember when I was in New York, this guy who shall remain nameless is a big natural hair, and it's a man, which is annoying.
right.
Yeah,
When
and
men
it's
tell you how you should look with your hair.
right, and he owns a salon, and he's this natural hair and this curl guru.
Oh, I think I know who you talking
I'm
about.
sure you do.
We're gonna talk after the show.
Yes, and
I'm gonna get the
girl,
tea.
This man
the hair
shamed
tea.
me so bad,
No,
and
he
I haven't
didn't.
had a relaxer in, I don't know. I mean, at that point, it was like 15 years or
Mm-hmm.
something. But I was flat ironing my hair, or hell, press and curl, or whatever you want to call it. I don't
Right.
know what the terminology is. But
Yeah, they change it. So it's
right,
silk press
right,
now.
whatever.
It's
you
still
know,
a
right,
flat
that-
iron.
right,
Whatever.
the flat iron and
You was
all of
making
that.
it straight
right,
with heat.
and right, exactly. And he was saying, oh well, like you should wear your hair curly, and I'm gonna tell you, I have had my hair in just about every iteration possible,
Mm-hmm.
from full weaves to extensions to braids to goddess
Girl,
locks.
you a hair vet.
Yeah, to natural,
Mm-hmm.
and
me.
it is not that easy to wear your hair natural.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not, especially if you have any length to your hair, because like your hair is gorgeous, but getting that curl pattern for me,
Right.
especially if you are one who
wants a certain type of curl pattern
Right.
and wants it to look a certain way, and you're not
Right.
really, like you want your curls to be a certain
right, because
look.
that once you start flat ironing it, it does change the texture of your hair. And I mean, he like literally tried to shame me, but you can't shame me about my own hair.
Right.
But tried to shame, well, you should wear curly. You should wear. I'm like, sir, the minute you grow your hair out and you have to walk around doing all of this, and you could tell me what I should do.
Right.
With my
You
hair.
said that to him? Okay, good for you.
I mean, listen, it's my hair.
Right.
If I wanted to fry it within an inch of its life, that is my right to do so.
Right.
And so, whatever works.
Right.
And now, I texturize the sides of my hair.
And that's what a lot of people, we had a
Hairstylist.
hairstylist on the show that does like
Short
hair,
hair.
and that's what she says. And I was like, what? You still do, relaxes and stuff. I was, me being in my enclosed natural hair box, I was still shocked that people still were,
Yeah.
doing relaxes. But hey,
I'm talking about if you have hair down your back and you want to relax it,
Yeah.
relax all of it. Who cares? I mean, whatever works for you. I mean, because a lot of people cannot sustain, and I know because I work out 3 times a week. And that was one of the reasons why I would have like maybe 3 rows in my hair in between, because that enabled me to hold on to my hairstyle on, because I had to do at least 3 days of cardio and then a day of, or more of like strength training, whether it's
trying to
Pilates
get like you,
or
child.
whatever.
Get it together.
So, it was just hard with no extensions in my hair to maintain
To
it.
maintain it, and that's what that's what we always say. Like, you got to do what's best
Works
for
for you.
with
For
your
your-
lifestyle.
yeah, lifestyle.
And if
That's
you know that
law.
you're not going to really take care of your natural hair to its
Right.
fullest, then maybe you do need to get other alternatives.
Because my kitchen is right here in the top of my head,
Right.
not in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
so-
where your thickness is.
Yeah,
Like right in here.
Yeah, right here. And so, and the sides are fine, but
Right.
let them grow out for, a little bit. And I
Right.
mean, I started looking like my brother, And again,
You start looking like the Snapchat
right.
app.
I mean, it's
where
fine,
you change.
right? It's
'Cause I look
fine
like
if
my
it's
brother on
super
that
low,
Snapchat
but if
app.
I go 2 weeks, which I can do, 2 weeks between hair, or now I have a, like a V cut in the back or something.
Right.
It just depends. So not every time am I, that I go in, or every other time or whatever, am I getting a texturizer or whatever on the sides. But girl, my hair is,
Yeah.
and when Derek first put, I was like, oh my God. Like,
Well, when he first
when he
put the
when he was like, and I had my hair without it for a while when I had my hair.
Did you burn, girl?
No, I didn't, but
No.
I did not. But it
Ooh,
was
I
like,
don't miss that burn.
no, because it was some
You don't
and I
understand.
really honestly think that whatever he puts in my hair washes out, and that's
Oh,
just
really?
me. But that's just me. No
Right.
shade, Derek. But or maybe I just can't wield my tools like he can. But
Right.
I just feel like when the first time I went in there, not the first time, but the first time after I was short, and this was like months. And my hair was just unruly. And I was like, yo, like, we got to do something. Derek was like, pulled out this tub. I was like, are you serious right now? He's like, it's either this or this.
And what was the other one?
Just like, just constantly just putting the, all that heat on my hair. And he was like, Elisa, you're cutting your hair off all the time. What difference does it make? Like,
I see what you're saying, because you're gonna keep.
it was just like
short. You might as well.
Right, get it. But it was the fact that I had actually had a relaxer put in my hair after 20 years almost of
Eons.
not having it. I was like, are we really going back to that? He was like, girl, it will be out. If you want to grow your hair out, just cut it off.
Yeah,
Right.
it'll be out.
It'll
like
be out in like a 2 weeks.
2
weeks,
Don't even
yeah,
worry about it.
yeah.
So it's like so we don't. Yeah. it's
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And like, yeah, we always say like if it works for you, go ahead,
That's
go
right.
for it. You know,
Yeah.
like not obviously we're all about natural.
We're all about natural.
Right, but
and,
also
you
we
know.
understand like another person, because there is like a whole community like, go natural and don't put heat in your hair. I like putting heat in my hair.
Right.
Me too.
Every 3 months. Or look, I
Me
was thinking
too.
about putting heat in my hair today.
But going natural is not like having a weave in your hair, though. That's
Right.
the difference. I mean,
Right.
like.
We always got to section stuff off, like in the community. Like, it
Well,
always, you know what I mean?
No,
Like,
I
you
mean,
know,
like going natural is to me that's your. But I would assume that that's extension. So that to me that's not natural.
but
Right.
even color is not natural.
I
So it's like,
agree.
it just seems like this community is just so like sectioned off, like all
Yeah,
the
like,
time.
who cares what
you know what I
your
mean?
hair is
Like
cute,
you
girl,
ain't
do
you
it.
ain't 100%,
Yeah, what
natural.
does that, right?
Like,
What does that have to do with anything?
Right.
Like, so am I less of a black woman because I texturize
Pretty
the sides of
much.
my hair?
Pretty much,
Or am
girl.
I less of a black woman if you have a weave in your hair and you leave
Right.
a little bit out of the top on the
Right.
sides?
Or if I
mean,
straighten my hair because I'm, trying. And we do
Right.
have those conversations. And I get it. I get that. I get the undercurrent of why, like initially why we started straightening our hair. Like, I feel like as long as you know the history of it, but you still are proud
Right,
of
like
yourself.
the history is obviously we started straightening our hair initially because we wanted to look more like
We wanted
you
to
know,
assimilate more.
right to Caucasian people who have straight hair.
I
Back in the day.
cannot really attest to. I mean,
Right.
as a culture, yes. But
Yes,
I can
as
tell
a-
you why I
right.
got a relaxer when I was 10 or 12 because my hair was all long and thick and unruly.
And also because the education wasn't there.
Right.
Or the products wasn't
the products
there.
weren't
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
You know, so it goes back to that, like, and it's not about a product, honestly. It's about deep conditioning, not just doing what's healthy for your hair. Like eating well.
Yeah.
That's
Sure.
part of it, and in our community, we don't eat well, I mean, I eat well, so and I know you eat well. But now it's just coming now
That everyone's,
that
focused
everyone is
on.
focused on
Yeah.
eating better
Yeah,
and just,
sure. And that's been social economics too that plays
Right.
a part
So
in it. It's a lot of variables.
It's a lot that goes into like just the education not being there. So yeah, I feel like just deep condition, eat your vegetables, drink water, mind your
Moisturize.
business.
Moisturize.
Mind your business.
If you want to go ahead and throw a creamy crack in your hair, go ahead and do creamy crack.
Right,
It's
but just
okay.
do it correctly.
Yeah,
like
and I feel
go
like
to
you
a
need
professional.
To go to a
Correct.
professional.
Correct.
yeah, just don't do
yeah.
it at home, because the hair doesn't need, when you put the creamy crack on there, it doesn't need to be.
See, I think y'all are shading the relaxer.
You think so?
I think
you think
so.
it's
no,
you-
but
Yes.
I just
I don't
it
think we
has to be-
shading. We just saying it's creamy crack. I mean,
And see, that's what I'm talking about. It just it gives a negative connotation to people that want to relax their hair. And I think so again, I don't care, because for me it doesn't matter. Like tomorrow I don't even know if I particularly even have any relaxer left in my
Right.
hair. My point is I don't care. And if I wanted to relax my whole hair, it would just
That would be fine.
That would be
Right.
fine.
So you feel like the word creamy crack is
I
a
do.
negative?
Yes, like that would be like
connotation
somebody. I
before?
would. I mean, like that's like people throwing a pejorative out there because you have a weave or extensions in your hair. It's like whatever. Like because one day, remember, they were shaming the black people for wearing weaves, and it's like, excuse me, the white people wear weaves
Oh
just
yeah,
as much
like
as
just
we
as
do.
much as
If not
even more.
So that's just what I'm
with
saying.
the-
Like it's just a negative. Just because crack has a
You're
a
right.
negative
Yeah,
kind of
you're right.
taste.
Right,
Right.
and it's and we do it like unconsciously.
That's
That's
unconsciously.
why I brought up the subject.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
Because I really feel as though we should.
And that's such a good point though too.
Yeah.
Like a good point that the whole connotation of creamy crack, because I guess it kind of got coined with the whole movie with Chris
Yeah.
Rock or whatever,
Yeah.
and
again, that's just saying that everybody should wear their hair natural. I don't want to wear my damn hair natural. I don't.
Yeah.
I don't want to do it. Not today. And probably not most of the time. So if I have to put a pressing comb or a flat iron or whatever in my hair to keep it supple and straight, so be it. Like
Right.
that's just the way I feel about it. And whatever.
Yeah, and everybody's now catering to like the curls too.
Exactly.
Instead of like
reverse racism.
Right. Yeah, and that's because
wow.
I have so much to say on that. We're not gonna get into that.
No, I love that. This
No,
is great.
let's go
great.
today.
Like, yes, I love it. I'm up. Let me set up a little bit.
what do you, Lisa? What do you have to say about it? Just briefly.
Please, come on.
No.
Yeah, why?
I'm not gonna bait me today.
Come on,
Maybe if we have time, we'll talk about it afterwards. But it's the same thing I feel about about the light skin, dark skin movement. I feel as though like I'm all for women of color, no matter what color, coming and together and advancing our cause as women. But this whole embracing your color, that's great. You know what I mean? But that's fine. We should all embrace our color. But right now, like, it seems to be the tides are reversing. Like, we are all apparent of more or less along the same hue.
Right.
And you can't tell me that I did not experience racism from my own people when I was growing up.
Right.
And from white people.
Right.
So, just because you may be of a darker hue does not mean that we were not, as the lighter hue, were not discriminated
Oh, I see
against.
what you, yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so
I see
that's
what
all
you're
I'm saying. And again, I understand that people, I get that. I'm very well educated in colorism, in racism, and the paper bag test, and all of that. I get it. But my point is, we were talking about being divisive in our own community. We should all celebrate our complexion and our hues, and
right.
And again, let's embrace the dark sisters, the caramel sisters, the mocha sisters, the coffee colored sisters, the sisters that are the color of milk, you know. And we are all beautiful, and we are all special, and
in our own way.
In our own way. But I mean, some of them, I guess, feel like they do have a point with
I'm not saying that
what
they
don't. Do, what they do experience. Like, I watched this documentary, like Black in Latin America, and it's just horrible. Like, just like the racism, the colorism, just all in the other countries too, not just only America.
No, not only America, but
just,
for one, I mean, I was in Bermuda a couple years ago, and that is a black island that is colonized, like most of the islands, by the British, and it's still very British. And we had some black people there call us monkeys.
Wow.
And gorillas, and it was just city. So I mean, again, and it was a darker skinned black man, and we were all colors of the rainbow sitting at that table. We had a couple. I was there with a couple gay guys, and I think I may have been maybe the only girl. And we were well behaved, and we were a little bit late for our reservation, and we were just trying to ask them why. And he was like, "If you monkeys or gorillas don't go," like I was like, "Are you serious right now?"
Do you think it was through the color though?
Again, a lot of that is the colonization mentality. I mean, like this man who is calling, it was a brother, a black man, is calling me a gorilla. Like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Right. And again, it doesn't have anything to do with the colorism. That is the way that people are trained to think.
I see what you're saying. Like, just the mentality.
The mentality that we are talking to each other. And I was like, nigga, you darker than me. Like, what are you talking about? Are we? Because I knew that wasn't what he meant it, but I was like, are you trying? I played dumb.
Yeah.
Like, what are you trying to say to really force his hand?
What did he say?
He didn't. You guys are acting. No, we're not. We're simply asking why you won't honor our reservation because we're 15 minutes late. And we have a right as a patron to ask us that. And if you have the right as the owner to, and he wasn't even the owner, to turn us away, making people explain what they're saying by that. So the only thing I'm saying is, listen, we have all suffered from white men and white people, and against our own colorism, racism, and
within,
things like that.
even within your family.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I get that. I get that because like I had this experience where it was this Indian guy. He was black as hell, like blacker than I mean dark, like like midnight dark. And he kind of like went off on this cashier and was like, you people and all of this kind of like, excuse me, India was colonized too,
right,
by Europe, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that
and
whole
they have the caste system,
and it's like this whole mentality, like you just like you darker than her, like
that's
what are you
it.
talking about?
Again, the thing is, I'm just saying, in the other communities, other the Jews don't have this problem. They have curly haired Jews, they have straight haired Jews, they have Jews with, all the other things, the unique looks that we would.
The issue though,
right?
They can still
come
be
together. The Asians don't act like that towards the people. Is us, and that's what I'm saying. That's the only thing I'm saying about black, about light skin, dark skin, straight hair, curly hair, whatever. I mean, we need to come together as a people and just embrace our beautiful black, brown, yellow,
whatever
transparent selves with weaves,
and relaxers,
with relaxers, with
not creamy crack,
right? With relaxers,
or even
straight hair.
Sure,
Can't we just all celebrate our beauty?
Yeah,
that's it. That's all I'm saying. And I'm not trying to shade any particular, whatever.
This one black brother, like one day I said the story on here before, where he was like, we showed him the picture of the Future's curly sweatshirt,
right,
and we tried to sell it to his girlfriend because she had curly hair, but not like not like this, but like it curled down.
It was a looser texture curl.
And she was like, my boyfriend showed her the picture, and he was like, oh, did you like this? And he said for her, oh, that's Negro hair. And I was like, I was just confused. I was like, what hair what picture did you show him?
Right.
Like, was that me?
You're right.
And he was like, yeah, that's Negro hair. Girls like this, not like this.
I'm so sick of people.
And that was just.
And it was a man.
And it was a man. And he was black.
See, that's what I'm talking about. We are all black.
Just
black is
Negro
beautiful.
hair.
Yeah,
Period.
just ignorant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and literally my immediate family runs the gamut, as I am sure that you all have the same. Like, my mother is the color of this, and my dad is darker. My nephew is like a beautiful dark skin, brown, just yummy color.
Right.
And my two other nephews are my complexion. You do not know what color your black child is going to turn out in your family.
Exactly.
And it's crazy.
And they all got the same mother and father.
Right.
You don't know. It's the luck of the draw. We don't know. We don't know what we're going to
like
get.
that guy, that black brother.
Right.
His daughter, they didn't have no kids, but she can have, because he had coarser hair than me.
Right.
So you don't know,
You
like.
don't know what you're going to, girl. Throw them black jeans up in there, and it's going to be a surprise.
It's so funny because it was just the other day. It was a whole big thing. Like, little Duval had said something about how he don't want his girl with an afro.
Like, he don't like hair like this.
He don't like it. Even though I think they did pull some receipts and he
but
had
that's what I'm saying.
An afro. Like it's just so funny. Like, men just making all these like.
Let a fine girl. Let you come up there and see what he says. You are fine.
No, but she'll be okay because the texture of her hair.
See,
like,
that's
you know,
what I'm
but
saying.
listen,
a lot of
at the end of the day,
texturism.
what I feel like everybody has a preference, right? Like, I don't like all men, right? And I probably don't like a man with a beer belly.
Right. A dad bod. A dad.
Right. That's probably, I want a man who is working out because I want motivation from him. But that's just my taste. And, and I get it. I'm not trying to like throw shade at him, like if he doesn't like women, that's okay. But it's just like, keep that comment to yourself. You know?
Because it's the undercurrent. It's the undercurrent of where we've been through. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it's been a whole struggle of men with dad bodies and like, they've been oppressed. And, there's a lot of fat CEOs who's wealthy, who's getting it, got some cute little thing on their arm. Like, they don't get no discrimination.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, but with us, it's just always like, well, I don't like this. And you have to have this texture. And, it's just.
That's what I'm trying to unite our people.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. But back
anyway.
to short hair, obviously it's not groundbreaking for us or soy, not throwing shade. Obviously, black women have been ashamed of having short hair for years. Like, I feel like long hair is what we kind of want. A lot of people want like more long hair. But I think like, if you can rock it and that's what you like and that's what you love, go for it, you know?
At the end of the day, that's what it is, like, do you.
Right. If you want, to relax your hair, guys, do not say creamy crack anymore. Like, and I'm not trying to be funny, but don't say it because she's right about that, like we're just shaming people who are doing it,
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here to inspire. I'm here to inspire.
No more saying creamy crack because that's relaxer shame.
Yeah.
You have another
Relaxer
shame
shame.
out
Right.
here.
And y'all was doing it for a long time, so don't shame y'all.
Hey, I was
no
saying
shame.
it. I said creamy crack.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get into our slipped into the DMs, and we have Kim from Connecticut. She's asking, what's the safest way to straighten your hair? Soy, what do you think?
Well, we're not going to use a relax. I'm just playing.
Hey, whatever works for y'all.
Well, I mean, I guess like if she's talking about natural, I'm assuming she's talking about straightening her natural hair
Without losing her curl pattern.
without losing her curl pattern. I always tell my clients minimum
Heat.
That's like you can't come to me every week and want to get straightened.
But even if you come in once a month, you're still straightening your hair.
Exactly.
So it's gonna change the.
It definitely changes.
It's gonna
the
still
color.
change it. Like you're not gonna have the same curl pattern that you would if you didn't use any heat or any color.
Right. You
So
just
that
have to
means-
compromise.
You have to compromise. I'm not willing to make that compromise because I love color and I love heat. But you still can have healthy, straightened hair without losing so much of your curl pattern where it's like straight and hanging. You know, with straightening, you just have to, minimize the heat.
Minimize the heat. Also shampoo.
Clarify. You have to clarify the hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, have to clarify. It has to be clean. You can't have any products on it, while you're doing it.
If you're blow drying your hair and like you see like smoke in the air, that means
that blue smoke.
there's still product. And
in
a
the
lot of
hair.
people don't know it. And I'm not trying to be funny or anything like that, but like even my mother, like sometimes like I do her hair, she'll shampoo her hair at home and then she'll come to me and I'm like, Mom, I the other day I had to re-shampoo her hair because
it still had product
right.
in
And
it.
then obviously, all that stuff, like it just doesn't come out the same.
Is there a good clarifying shampoo that you all recommend in between?
I have one.
Yeah.
I mean, plug. I have OMG hair products. I have a peppermint clarifying shampoo that works well, but there's like tons of
You know what?
clarifiers on the
Honestly,
market.
what I use to clarify my hair when I'm at home, and I use the Dr. Bronner's. So,
oh yeah, Dr. Bronner's too.
That stuff seems like it's harsh.
It
yeah,
can be.
but you're
gonna
okay.
put the moisture back in.
Right, exactly. So what I do when I shampoo my hair, that's the first shampoo I'll probably do too, because I put products in my hair. So I'm putting like creams, oils, and mousse and maybe gel. So I'm putting a lot of stuff. So I want to strip my hair of all those products.
Okay.
And then I do a conditioning shampoo, which is like maybe a reparative or hydration shampoo, and then go in with deep conditioning. So every time I shampoo my hair, I'm deep conditioning.
Yeah. So you do clarify, treatment, shampoo, then deep condition.
Right.
So as soon as you like strip that cuticle of all that stuff that you've been putting on, you want to make sure you bring it back to the pH level, with all that stuff.
Right.
So, yeah. So I mean, that would be my suggestion how you
Yeah.
straighten it. Just minimum heat, twice a month max, and
Or go get a wig.
Right.
that too, or some clip-ins. You know,
Yeah.
or some weaves.
Right.
Yeah.
That's it.
All right.
right.
So we're gonna get into the whatever.
With Lisa's journey in the male-dominated field, her being a badass.
Self-proclaimed. That's a story I'm telling myself.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lisa's a veteran in the entertainment and media. She's an attorney. What is a media attorney? Can you go?
Well, it is an entertainment lawyer in its essence. But I deal in all forms of entertainment. So I deal in music, television, film. And when I say television, I'm not only talking about like reality TV and representing reality stars. I'm talking about like television, scripted
Right.
TV.
Okay.
And what else? I'm sorry, though.
I know, girl.
It's all good.
It's just so much space.
No, it's all good. But I deal with technology, tech companies, you name it, copyright, all forms of entertainment and intellectual property.
Okay. So how did you get started in that field? Did you just go dive right into that's what you wanted?
No,
like
I was a little. I didn't. I kind of went to law school because I didn't really know what else to do. I know it sounds kind of like dumb, but
right. No, but a lot of
No, I
people
mean, a lot
yeah,
of
I
people
didn't
do
know.
that happens.
Yeah, I was in. I was an investment banker for a couple years after law school. Actually, I'm a journalism major. I literally I tell nobody
Communications.
yeah, in journalism. And I always tell people, don't ask how I started because everybody's journey is different. But I was a journalism major, didn't really want to start working in journalism when I really found out like I had to go to like Paducah, Kentucky to start. And like, so I was like, so I kind of
Right.
chased the coin. And then I ended up being in investment banking. And that's good, the paid well, but I didn't like it at all. And I was basically writing the RFPs, requests for proposals, when we were going to, put a bid in, which is like a bid, an answer to a bid, why our bank should get it.
Right.
And it's just one of those things where I didn't love it. And I knew that anything I wanted to do, I was going to have to get an advanced degree, and I knew I could not get an advanced degree in my MBA. Like in business, I'm too bad in math. I was like, and I'm not the struggle girl. I'm like not that struggle girl. So I was like, I'll kind of take the LSAT kind of thing, and that's what I did. And I went to NYU, and I still didn't really know what I wanted to do when I was in law school. I mean, like I really didn't even want to be a lawyer. But then I got divorced, and I was like, dang, I guess I gotta get a job, And so,
Right.
I mean, I had planned to work anyway. I just didn't know what I was gonna do.
Right.
And so I went out to LA where I had lived before, and I started working with a bankruptcy and litigation firm, which was excellent training for what I was doing. I mean, any kind of law, because there is no straight just like entertainment law. Like it's contracts, it's intellectual property.
Right.
It's a lot of different things that make up what
It
entertainment is.
yeah.
And it's just basically, the procedures and the industry standards for what is this. So you have to learn how to be a lawyer first.
Right.
And bankruptcy and litigation taught me that.
Yeah.
And it was really
I'm
wonderful.
sure.
Yeah, and it was great training. And then I just got a call from one of the girls I studied with for the bar and said, hey, we're starting this new company, and we have great funding, and we're looking for good people. And do you want to come over and...
This was still in LA.
Yeah, in LA. And do you want to come over and, help us build out this company? And I was like, sure. And it was Digital Entertainment Network, which was one of the first streaming companies on the web. I mean, like, before YouTube, before all of this stuff. It's like,
oh, wow.
Yeah, I've been in for 22 years. So this was like in 2000 or something. And... we helped write and shape what you see today is what's known as the interweb.
And it was it was you and another woman?
It was me and another woman, and it was headed up by at least the legal department by this guy named Alan, who was a partner in a big law firm, and he came over as in-house counsel. So I got my training from they were our outside counsel, but it was day-to-day activities with them. And a lot of it was the wild, wild west. We didn't know what we were doing. I mean, at the time, there was no SAG agreement for actors to even appear on the internet because there was no programming on the internet.
Yeah,
it was like gaming, and that was it. So I helped write the SAG side letter agreement and helped draft that with the officers at SAG and the other people. Just really, what does that look like? And it's changed a million times since then. But,
right.
Just really helping to just build it out. And so that's kind of how I got started. And a couple years later, it crashed and burned. And I, being in the legal, I kind of saw the handwriting on the wall. So I kind of negotiated an exit package and hung out my shingle with a couple of other lawyers that were there.
Okay.
And then we had a built-in... kind of like a built-in client base because we had the filmmakers there, but then we did everything. We did music. That's how I learned, because we signed music acts because Gary Gersh and John Silva from Capitol Records came over. We had David Newman, who was president of ABC Disney. He came over. I mean, I was working with huge names in the entertainment industry. And so we did touring, we did records, I was filming, we filmed reality shows, we filmed scripted shows, I did negative pickup agreements, I did touring, I did licensing, I did everything. And it was like the amazing, training ground.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of how I got my start in, that's
So did
it.
you enjoy that part of it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. Till about 4 years ago, and I just hit a wall. I was like, I am burnt out. So I didn't
So
take
what
some
made
time
you
off.
feel like you were burnt out? Like, cause
Um,
I feel like every career has that. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like
Yeah.
that point where
I was
you're just
approaching
like, you
20
know
years
what?
of being a lawyer. And
Because I'm at my 20-year mark too
Yeah,
about
so-
like doing hair, and I'm just like,
yeah.
yeah.
And I had to rediscover my passion for it. I mean, I took time off, not time off, I pulled back a lot. I was living in New York, and I was just tired of living in New York, so that was part of it, which was part of the impetus for me moving to Atlanta. But the journey, 20 years is a long time
It
to
is,
be doing
to do
something.
it
I guess that's
something.
just the
Yeah.
Right, and
yeah.
and I feel like you just kind of like you want you hit
Yeah, I
a
wanna-
point where you
It's
want
a
to
natural
change,
progression.
right?
Yeah,
And that's
I-
okay.
Right.
Right.
And I didn't, I knew, I mean, listen, I don't have, I'm not independently wealthy, so I knew I had to continue to work.
Right.
I'm divorced, so I'm no longer married. I don't have a sugar daddy, nor am I looking for one. So it was one of those things where I had to make a living.
Yeah.
So I pulled back on practicing, but I also took up a lot of other things that really fulfilled me in the interim. One of the reasons
And
I moved,
travel, which
travel
was
was one of them.
them.
One of the reasons I moved from LA to New York was because I wanted to put my journalism degree to use. So at the time, again, this was in 2008. There wasn't, a lot of Facebook was just coming out, and social media websites were
Yeah.
just kind of starting.
their
But
footing.
yeah, so I wanted to write and get into journalism a lot more. So I started doing a lot of on-air appearances with.
Kind of circled right on back
Yeah.
around to the communications.
Exactly.
Right.
And just starting to take advantage of the other things that interested me.
Right.
And talking to people. I started my podcast with Byron Allen that was on his network for 2 seasons until he, closed that down.
Right.
And have since restarted, but I started travel writing. And that came about just from me traveling on my own.
Oh, that is so
Yeah.
Awesome. Like, we
Yeah.
want to know about that because we always
Yeah.
just like, oh my gosh, I love
That
when
came
people
about,
like blog and travel.
As a fluke, I had represented Vibe magazine for 10 years until they stopped operating as a print magazine, and Emil Wilbekin was the editor in chief of Vibe, and when I moved to New York, he was with Essence at the time, and
Okay.
we were out and we were talking, and he was like, I just have kind of like an irreverent kind of, personality and humor in some instances, and Emil was like, "Girl, you are crazy as
You
shit."
don't
Like,
say.
right? He's like, "Girl, you are crazy as shit. You just like, I really want you to start writing for our website." And I was like, "Well, okay, should I write about?" And he's like, "Well, you'll know." And I tossed a couple ideas around with Emil, and nothing really sounded right. And then I embarked on a solo travel trip in 2010. This was before solo travel was big, and
So you did your Eat, Pray, Love.
yeah, and I just took a birthday trip, and I went on a small boat with it was called Windstar. I'm giving them a plug, but it's 100, 200 people max on a ship, and I kind of cruised around Italy, and I've met some really great people. 2 guys who I'm still friends with now, a couple that live in Rio. And we've traveled to about 10 countries together, but I met them on the boat, and they've come here for my birthday parties. We've celebrated on several continents. But so I said, well, hey, I'm going on this solo trip, and he was like, oh, okay, so will you write an article about that? And I was like, yeah, and that was kind of the impetus. And when I wrote that, I mean, it literally broke the Essence website. It had so many comments on it because people were not traveling by themselves at the time.
Yeah.
It was no, Black girl travel movement.
Right.
And so I ended
It was a thing. Like a lot of people,
It
a lot of
was.
people still don't feel comfortable
But it was
traveling by themselves.
definitely not a thing at the time.
Right.
I was like a unicorn.
Yeah.
And so I chronicled that trip, and then it was like a week, so I probably wrote 4 or 5 articles on that trip. And then when I got back, I agreed to write for a year, chronicling my life as a divorced single woman. It was very much Eat, Pray, Love meets Sex in the City.
I love
that.
And so that's how my travel writing came about, because I had a lot of...
Are you living vicariously?
Yes, I can see it. Like, I can see myself. I can see my, like, extensions blowing in the wind on a yacht somewhere in Italy.
Exactly.
You know?
Yeah. And that's how I, because I had gotten some shine on Essence at the time, and it was just something that was not happening.
Right.
And then I just started, writing for various magazines and doing, travel and taking, I traveled because I was traveling a lot on my own, and I still travel a lot on my own, and I still have been traveling a lot on my own. I have had some, of my travel obviously supplemented with press trips that, I love, and they treat you like a queen.
They sure do.
I ain't got no man at the time, so, it's nice to have somebody else pay for your travel.
Sponsors.
Yeah.
Sponsor, a legitimate sponsor.
Right? A legitimate one. Right.
So
They don't want anything.
back to the, you being in the lawyer and all that stuff. Do you feel like you were a minority in that field? Like, while being a black, a woman of color,
Yeah, absolutely. But guess what? Ask me if I can.
I love that you have that
I'm
attitude.
the youngest child. I'm the only girl.
Right.
I mean, I'm 6 years younger than my brother, my youngest brother. So I clearly had to fend for myself.
Right.
I'm the only girl, the youngest child too.
So you understand,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, I had to, kind of get with a lawyer last week. This old white man, and I was like, "Sir, that's not what you're not gonna do."
What we not gonna do,
right? And then politely tell him,
right?
What we not gonna do in an email,
right?
But yes, what I will say this: until Donald Trump came out and said, "Hey, I grab him by the pussy," and then still get we can
so
curse
ignorant.
on here.
We can.
Yeah, exactly. Until he said that and got elected president, and nobody
it's coming out the woodwork,
right?
now.
And I was like, okay, so I used to attribute men in this industry treating me as a second-class citizen because I was black, but I don't necessarily whatever talk black or sound black, whatever that is. I don't. You can't see me being black on the phone
or email,
right? And but what you do know is by my name, I'm a woman. Right. So I thought that a lot of the issues that I had in this industry was due to me being black. However, I think a lot of them are because I'm a woman.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now if you see me, you won't be able to differentiate the two.
Right.
But I realized that the other day, in 2016, after Donald Trump, I was like, oh, dang. And again, because I'm a black woman, kind of one word, I've never separated the two, ever.
And they coming out the woodwork now.
Right.
Girl. They
in
just,
all forms,
in all forms, they like.
But like the other day, this man, he was older, and he was like, I was going back and forth and with him, and, I was looking at something, and we were close to execution. I was like, oh, no, we didn't really agree to this or whatever. And he was like, I'm done.
Oh, wow.
I said, okay.
Right.
Well, why don't we just email the clients and let them know your position on this, that you're done?
Right.
Because this is a negotiation. This is not your way, your client's way, or the highway.
Right.
This is a negotiation. So I am happy to take it wherever you like. If you want to sit here and talk to your clients and call it off, it's happy. But if you would like to continue this conversation, it will be continued in a different tone.
And what did I'm done say?
Yeah, and he came.
He got it together.
Yeah, he got it together.
So what did I'm done say?
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
You got it right on together.
Yeah, and I was like, I'm not getting ready to have this fight with you.
We're not about to
We're
do
not
that.
really about to do that. Okay, and I said, studios and production houses are a dime a dozen. Good ideas aren't.
Right.
How about that?
Hey, that's so true.
Yeah, and so he came back.
If you got good ideas, you got a bunch.
Yeah, and
I
I said your client believes in my client enough to really want this idea. So I think somebody else would too. So if you want to go and get going,
Right.
And tell your client you
That's
blew
your
the
business.
deal, and see ya.
Right.
But we will not have this conversation in this tone of voice.
Right.
That's what we're not going to do. In some words.
Yeah. So, obviously you're well traveled, and I saw in your interview in the Sister Circle, obviously that you've done this. You were giving traveling solo tips. So tell us about that, because I wanna get into that. Like,
have you ever traveled solo?
I've never done that.
Me either.
Oh,
Yeah.
girl.
Wait, have I? No.
And how
should
has it helped
change
you
your
as a
life.
woman?
it will change your life. I mean, I think that every woman should travel solo. I don't care if you go to the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, that's what I was
or
gonna say. Is it like
Savannah
Right.
or Charleston or anywhere in particular, just take a restorative vacation, even just a week,
Right.
you know.
Or even a weekend, I guess.
I mean, that's what I'm
Yeah.
sorry, a
Yeah.
weekend, even
Yeah.
a week.
I was gonna
in.
say a week. Wow.
No.
Yeah.
I went on a week's trip. But,
Yeah.
start with a weekend.
So what are the places that you've traveled to?
Solo
just
or just...
Yeah, solo.
Yeah.
That's
Well, I mean, I
I've
want to
been
know.
to 78 countries.
78
but there are
countries?
254, so I got a lot to go.
To
Some
go.
places I don't really want to go, but I got a lot to go.
Yeah. How has it helped you as a woman?
Solo travel or travel?
Just travel, solo travel.
Travel has helped me understand that we are more alike than different,
right?
and have an appreciation for the other people's culture. And as fucked up as this country is, it has its benefits.
Yeah.
Right.
It really does. And that is why I'm so passionate about all this stuff that's going on with our country right now from a civil rights perspective and a Second Amendment perspective, because they literally are destroying the fabric of our country.
Yeah.
And we were the greatest country in the world, and I'm not so sure that we can say that right now. And we are the laughing stock of the entire world.
Right.
Wow.
So when you go travel over there, they're probably enthralled.
Everybody's like
what's going on?
Yeah.
Like-
I mean, I was in Brazil, in Sao Paulo, I think maybe in I don't know, February. Maybe it wasn't even it was sometime this year in 2019. And this guy who spoke no English and he spoke Portuguese had on, a shirt that, denounced Trump and had him as a clown, and it was in Portuguese. And I was like, oh my God, I have to get that picture.
Right.
Because the whole world knows. You go to India, you go to any of these developing countries and these emerging countries.
Mumbai or something. They're like,
Yeah, and people really know what an idiot
he is.
he is.
Right.
Yeah. It's sad.
Yeah.
It's
It really is.
It's unbelievable.
How he speaks and what he
It's
he's the way he
The race
tweets.
baiting,
The
he's
race
really
bait,
trying
yeah.
to
I don't
start a
even
race
tweets,
war.
right.
Yeah, like why is he even allowed to
Yeah.
to tweet as a president, you know?
Yeah,
It's
if
weird.
he were to disappear off of the face of this earth, I would be so happy.
Right.
it's just weird.
And how about solo traveling?
How has that changed my life? It is empowering. It's, I think it's,
Why do you say it's empowering?
well, because you can do what you want, which is pretty much my life because I don't have any kids. But especially if you have kids,
I think especially if you have kids,
you really do need to
that.
go away. I mean, because me, it's just me and
Right.
whoever else I choose to take care of, or contribute to. But I don't, it's just me and my clients and my job, But being child free by choice, that allows me to travel. But if you have children or you have other responsibilities or you're married, or you need that solo time just so you can hear your voice and God's voice.
Right.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember even Oprah saying before every big decision she makes, she goes out and just takes a walk and
Yeah.
by herself,
Yeah.
so she can hear it come
Yeah.
to her.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean, and what advice would you get? Because I even brought this up to a mate before about well, I just need a weekend by myself, and they get kind of annoyed by it. So you just gonna leave?
I mean, maybe it's about your delivery. Right? Because I feel like you can present something, hey, I want to go just spend some time and just think and, not I need to be by myself where you're kind of shushing them off, right?
Yeah.
point.
Yeah,
Right,
that's a good
you know?
point. She always does that. Yeah. Because my delivery can be kind of funky.
Yeah, I know.
Mine too.
Yeah.
I learned that. I need
Right.
that skill.
Yeah,
that's
but
a skill.
it definitely you need to take a beat and think about how you're going to say something
Right.
to somebody. I mean, a relationship, with your mate is almost like a relationship with your children or your employer. You got to watch what you say.
Right.
Yeah.
Because it just sticks with you. Like, oh,
Yeah,
so
you
you want to take a trip by yourself? So what you're saying about me, do I annoy you? So you start thinking, imagine if he was to say something to you like that. It's just
I don't
you
think it would
gotta.
bother me.
I mean, that's what you say. Whatever.
Right.
Don't believe her.
Right.
But it kind of like, okay, wow, like, you know, and you kind of question yourself as a person. You start questioning like, well, damn, like, am I annoying you? Like, you know, you question your character as a person.
Yeah.
You know, so it's about your delivery, how you say it. Like, you know, like, I want to present it to my partner. I'm like, well, I want to go on a retreat and I want to just take some time to,
Take a sabbatical.
you know, yeah, I want to go on a retreat, do some yoga, whatever it is, you know, but it's for myself and I'm doing it for myself as opposed to like, I don't want you in my life.
Here.
I gotta get back.
I gotta
outta
get my
here. Y'all getting on
solo
nerves.
time.
Right.
So yeah, you
Yeah.
know.
But also, it's important to know, I mean, even in that vein, it's important to understand that in choosing a mate, that they need to be supportive of the things
That you
that
do.
are important to you.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like one of the reasons, like a lot of the guys that I've dated, you travel too much. Well, you know, what does that mean?
Yeah.
Right.
You know, I mean, I don't understand what that means. And also, if I don't really have a boyfriend at this particular time, and
Right.
you know, but if I were in a relationship with somebody, I would absolutely take their schedule or their thoughts into consideration. But if it's just me, hey, who do I have to answer to? Don't worry
Right.
about what I do.
Right.
You know, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
And so they would say that, like the guys that you
Yeah.
date, like, so you just travel too much.
Maybe that comes from a like a place in themselves wanting to
It's
travel.
maybe
You don't
a
travel
insecurity.
enough, right? Maybe
Yeah.
I
Right.
don't travel enough, or
Absolutely.
maybe we can go somewhere together. I mean, like, it would be hard for me to date somebody that really had no interest in travel.
Right.
I'm just keeping it real,
Yeah.
because there are certain places that I want to go with a boo.
Right.
Right. And some places that you want to go alone.
Is it? Ow.
Yeah.
Like Greece.
Right. I love Greece.
You've been to Greece?
I used to live in Greece, but yes, I love
You've
Greece.
lived in a lot of places, right?
I guess. I mean, I've only lived in Greece and Italy in terms of when I was married. But I've lived a couple places in the States. But yeah, now I feel like my time in Greece and Italy were wasted. You know, like they say, youth is wasted on the young.
Yeah.
I feel like that because I really should have been learning Italian or, you know, something like that.
Do you know any other languages?
I studied French for a while as an adult, as a child, well, in school, and I took French classes as an adult again when I was in New York and at the Alliance Francaise. And then I went over to Paris to study at their Alliance Francaise in Paris to kind of do an immersion
Oh wow.
for 6 weeks.
How long did you live in New York for?
Ooh, this past iteration, 8 years, 7.5
Okay.
years, 8 years. And 7.5. 7 is a number of completion in the Bible. And prior to that, I lived there for maybe 6 months after undergrad. I was training at Lehman, and then 3 years.
I used to go to the school right next to Lehman.
Lehman Brothers?
No, Lehman College. I used to
Oh,
go
no,
to.
I meant Lehman Brothers.
Oh, okay.
I can tell that
Okay.
New York accent
Yeah.
all day. Yeah.
Yep, New York.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
So I lived there for a while. I mean, you know, 3 times in my life.
So what advice would you give to the
Young
young you?
That's
It's a good one.
Yeah, it's a good one. The advice to my younger self would be gosh, that's a good question. And I had a response for this for when people ask me these questions. I would say,
Don't overthink it.
I don't know because my life is, be flexible.
Right.
Don't.
That's
a
good.
good one.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah.
Because
that's really good.
I'm learning that.
Yeah, it's
just
hard.
to just kind of like just fucking relax.
Yeah, relax, be easy.
And just
Yeah. And I've kind of that's kind of the way I've approached my whole life. I've never really had a plan. I just did not know what I wanted to do with my life. I didn't. My brother knew he wanted to be a doctor at like 8.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know what I wanted to do till I was like 28.
Right.
You know what I mean? And
that's okay.
Yeah, and that's okay. And I never felt a way about it.
Yeah.
And
And
that's
each thing builds upon
that's
each
right,
other.
right.
You know?
And that's why I'm saying be flexible. So, and I also wish I would have. I mean, and I was flexible, so I say that to people. But maybe sometimes I wish I would have listened more to my parents.
Really?
Yeah, maybe a little bit.
Yeah. That's good. That's
Yeah,
a good one.
I mean, you know, I mean, because now I'm at age and I'm listening to my nephew's sons and I'm telling them like, are you going to sit here and tell me that? Like, honestly.
Right.
You know, I'm having these conversations with them because like everything that you've tried, I've tried.
Right.
You know,
Just
all
a
this
different.
stuff. Yeah.
It's just nothing new under the sun.
Yeah, my mother used to tell me that all the time. Like, do you not think that I went through this? Like, I was a
Exactly.
teenager at one point.
Right.
I was a young adult at one point. I remember when I was going to Boston College, my mom wanted me to drop me off at BC, and I was like, no, I want to go by myself. And I get up there, and I'm like the only person that did not have their family dropping them off. And this is like still like years later, this haunts me. I was like, and I was looking at my mom. I was like, how you gonna let a 17-year-old girl go halfway across the country?
Look, you gonna figure it out,
Right.
then. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you just like
Yeah,
what you
and then
want.
my
Now you're thinking that for the rest of your life.
Right.
Lesson
And my
learned.
mom
you
let
telling
me
the
do
story
it.
right now.
And my mom let me do it. I was like, what are you doing? Like, I would have been like, girl, get your butt on that plane. And I'm going up there with you, but
sometimes you gotta let your kids
that's
live, though.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's
you
the
know?
beauty in
I
that.
was a
But
good kid. I mean, and
yeah.
my mom trusted me. You know, like
Yeah.
I wasn't a kid. I wasn't a bad kid. I didn't.
Right.
You know, my mouth was, but I knew when to shut up.
Right.
Like, I wasn't grounded. I didn't have a curfew growing up because my grandmother was really strict. My mother's like, you know what time not to come in. She gave me boundaries and I adhered to them.
Right.
And so I did my homework. I kept my room relatively clean. You know, I was like that. You know, you're the third kid, so you know what to do.
Right.
You know what I mean?
You
Like,
had older brothers. You saw all of them get
you
in
know
trouble.
what to do
Yeah.
and how to do it. So
Right.
Yeah, my brothers tell me all the time that I'm like, I have this like whatever attitude. I'm like,
Yeah.
you know what? Like, I don't care enough.
yeah. Yeah.
I really don't.
And now I damn sure don't care. Like, I don't give a damn
Yeah.
about half this stuff. You know, I've had like a crazy tough year. I mean, I've had, you know, 4 people drop dead on me this year.
Oh, wow, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, no, I mean, but it grows you up.
Yeah.
You
That
know,
this
it-
is
it
just like we
it's
all
just-
have a date, and it's just
Right.
like you
You
might
know,
as well
right.
just
That's
live
what
your
I'm saying,
life,
like,
be
but
happy.
But
and-
people don't realize is that death is like natural.
That's
When my
it, and
dad
people-
passed, like
that's
people
it.
told one person told me like, you know, I lost my mom, you know, the previous year, and he was like, you know, what helped me is what a person told me. It's natural.
That's
It's-
what I say
it's
that all
part
the
of
time.
this.
It's death is a part of life, and the one thing I say this, the one thing certain about life, ain't none of us getting out of here alive.
Right.
So the thing that you really want to do is to make sure that you live a good life,
Right.
that you have fun in the process, that you treat people nicely in the process. And so whether it was my bonus dad, my biological dad who died, both of them were in their 80s, or one of my best friends who passed away at 49, almost suddenly, or my cousin who dropped dead a couple weeks ago at 43. You know, but again, thank you. But at the end of the day, each one of these people lived a good life.
Yeah.
You know, and
that's
that's
great.
what you really want to make sure of is when you leave this world and you leave this earth, did you treat people with kindness? Did you treat people with respect?
Right.
And, you know, are people going to come up and show up for you in your time of need when you're sick? You know, or and when you see people dying with grace and with dignity, it changes your whole life. Forget all this nonsense.
Right.
Ain't none of this stuff worth anything.
Right.
It's not worth when friends come and go later.
Yeah.
Keep pushing.
Keep moving.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
It's
it would
seasons.
Yeah.
season or a lifetime.
Right.
You know, some just stuff don't bother me. You know, but you think I didn't care before? I really don't care.
Care
now.
now?
I don't. I
Yeah.
care about
It's
my
like-
family. I care
right.
about my health. I care about, you know, my family.
Right.
And I care about being a good person and leaving a mark and just and giving back to society.
Right.
That's what I care about. All this other stuff, y'all can miss me with that bullshit. For
Miss her with it.
I
right.
fucking love it.
Yep. I'm getting like that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, shoot, if you know, listen, you get older, you die.
Mm-hmm.
And,
Yeah.
you know, it's you either you take one or the other. So as a woman of a certain age, I will take that,
Yeah.
I love it.
you know.
All right.
It gets greater later, y'all.
It gets greater later.
It does. And don't be pressed about who was it turning 40. Was it you, girl? Don't be
No,
pressed
not
about-
yet. Not
No,
yet.
exactly.
Not
Some
yet.
people don't live to see that.
I know, right? Yeah.
It's a blessing.
And I wouldn't want to go back to being 40 for nothing. I wouldn't want to go, no. Or my 30s.
Man.
I mean, I wouldn't want
Yeah,
to
and you
go
feel
back.
that?
I wouldn't
Yeah,
wanna go back
you wouldn't
to
wanna go back to your.
20s.
That's what I'm
my
saying. Like,
20s, my teens.
That's what I'm saying.
Right, none of that.
Each
None of that.
year and
They
each
can have
decade
that.
as you get older, you be like, oh,
Hell no.
hell no. Look
Right.
at Oprah
Right.
every single time when she's 60, she's like, I wouldn't want to go back to being 50, but when she was in her 50s, she's like, that's the best thing ever.
Right.
You know, and then just because you just learn.
Right.
And you just got to take life as
It's those
experience.
jewels that you
That's
just
it.
collecting and
That's it.
collecting
Right.
and collecting.
I mean, I would want to go back and relive some of my youth and just the fun
the
times.
moments.
Right, but
not like
not
the-
those lessons and
No.
Not those lessons that
Girl,
made you who you are now.
That's right.
It's
Just,
like, ugh.
just love on your life and,
Right.
and enjoy every moment and celebrate your birthdays, girl. I'll be like, you wanna know how old I am? Go to Instagram. It's all over the Instagram.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You get
Right.
older, you down. I look damn good for my age.
Yeah.
you do.
Period. Not for my age, but period.
But
So,
period.
Yeah, you do.
Thank you.
Look, I don't even know. You say you in your 50s, obviously, because that's what you say. You don't want to go back to your 40s. Girl, you look amazing.
Thank you.
Yeah,
You
your
sure
skin
do.
is glowing. Like, we know you're living your best life.
And again, it's just about taking care of yourself.
Right.
It's, you know,
Yeah.
it's about working out. It's about eating right. It's about
Mm-hmm.
staying hydrated. It's about
Minding
And
your
your
business.
mental.
Yeah,
and your mental.
It's
your
about
mental.
I meditate.
Yeah.
I pray. And I'm not saying, listen, everybody has their faults. I am not up here trying to extol that I am like, the Virgin Mary. We
get it.
You know,
Like-
but my point is if you live right, and if you walk that walk and talk that talk, pay your taxes and do what you're supposed to do, you ain't gonna have no problem. Tell the truth, because you don't have the truth is easy to remember. It's the lies that get people tripped up.
Right.
And don't do anything that's just gonna get you caught up in any kind of stuff. Don't risk your livelihood for no man, no bullshit, no nothing.
Right.
Girl, the truth.
These are
will set
salon
you-
lessons,
The
girls.
truth was. There's a reason why
and
they say the truth
guys.
will set you free.
Right?
Yeah, that's so true.
That's it. So embrace it. I'm just there to say,
I
embrace
love it.
getting older.
Yeah.
And because some people don't make it.
Don't make it. Yeah.
To see
My
those.
best
yeah.
friend didn't make it to 50.
Right.
And she was like, I mean, you would never have known that she was gonna die. And she got diagnosed with breast cancer, stage 4, out the gate.
Oh wow.
Out the gate.
Wow.
And she got mammograms every year. So my point is, you just never know.
You just never know,
And so
yeah.
my point is to just live your best life and just
Yeah.
enjoy it and just celebrate the times you're here and your birthdays and child, bring it on.
Yep.
'Cause it's good to be seen and not viewed, right?
Right.
There you have it.
I love it. I love it.
Well, thanks for coming on. We're gonna do this calling you out.
Real
I
quick.
love your story, your
Aw,
journey.
thank you for having
Yeah,
me.
I want to talk some
And this
more.
is like this is some real good like salon talk.
Yeah. All right, so we calling you out. Who do we have, Soy? I'm trying to get this nightcaps up.
Probably.
We calling
I know you guys
out.
heard this basically, but we just
Yeah, it
wanna
was
talk about it
on the
too.
Breakfast Club
And
recently.
like the shade room and stuff. So basically, it was this lady. Well, Forbes did a whole story on this lady who is selling these nightcaps for like $100, and the story was basically that she was like she was acting like it wasn't nothing new, but basically
Right.
it's a bonnet.
Right.
It's nothing but a bonnet.
And
But
she
this
was
is
selling
like
them for-
groundbreaking to them on Forbes that this is like a sleep ritual. Let me
I call
see.
it
Let
the
me
cultural
see.
misappropriation. People call it appropriation. It's misappropriation as far as I'm concerned.
Right. So So
Is it a
she-
white lady?
Of
Yeah.
course.
Oh, come on.
And she
Can
was
we have
selling. She
nothing?
was selling it for $100.
It's talking about talking sleep rituals with Nightcap founder.
Sarah
Sarah.
Morales.
Yeah.
Selling
So,
it to
yeah.
the white folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For $100
Yeah.
for a bonnet. When you can go down to your local beauty supply store that's probably not in you guys' neighborhood
Oh.
and get it for like
I'm sad.
Yeah.
$2.99.
That just makes me
Yeah.
Look at this. Look at this picture right here. We're gonna have this posted.
Oh
you
my
guys.
God.
I wonder do they know how to wrap their hair?
Probably not. I mean,
No.
you know what? At the end of the day, they don't need to wrap their
They don't
hair.
need to wrap their
yeah,
hair.
it's just straight.
Yeah. But I'm just saying
not
it
that
might
that's
be
a
my
bad-
hair straight, but I'm
So-
just saying like
Sad.
Yeah.
That just makes me sad. Was it? You said I was on the Breakfast Club. Was that the donkey of the day? 'Cause
Yeah,
it should
she
have
was.
been.
Yeah.
she
If it wasn't, it
yeah.
should have been.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was the donkey of the day.
I
and
want
she
her to
was
be the
selling-
donkey of the year.
Yeah,
That's-
just for that, right?
So we calling you out like because it's just like y'all gotta stop this. Like y'all can't be just appropriating people's cultures and acting like it's like something new.
right.
You know, this has been around forever. Like
I want to call it cultural misappropriation.
Right.
she issued an apology though.
I don't care.
I know.
Give them these people their money back.
Right. For
But you're
$100.
gonna take that and make it your own. Appropriation would, again, you taking something and making it their own, but they can't make it their own. That's why I call it misappropriation, because that is something that is nightcaps done all wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
I just
They got a little tie in
Yeah.
the front.
white people have. I'm sorry. Let me just be quiet. And nice white people, it's good.
Right.
Yeah.
Coming to the barbecue, white people.
Right. So we calling you out. What's her
Yeah.
name? Stop doing that shit. What's her name? Sarah. We calling you out, Sarah.
Yes, yeah, stop doing that, Sarah. You
Yeah.
can't. Come on now. They can go. Actually, you can go to Alibaba and get you a whole bunch of these things for like.
You could go to the fabric store and get some fabric.
and
What you
make
talking
it.
about?
Or you can just go to CVS and just get a regular old wrap that they sell there. I mean,
Yeah.
CVS, Walmart, Target.
And that just goes to show you, like, this, like, come on now, like, y'all don't know that
Yeah.
Like, about the culture.
All right. Well,
Anyway.
thank you so much, Lisa, for coming on the
Thank
show.
Yes,
We really
thank you.
enjoy
We
our
really
salon
enjoyed it.
talk.
Mm-hmm.
it's been good. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And
Where can they follow you? And
at Lisa Bonner, LISABONNER is my Instagram, and Twitter. I'm not as active on Twitter. I try to be. And then I have a podcast that you can find on SoundCloud and on iTunes. It's called The Legality, and I'm spilling the tea on all things legal.
Oh, nice.
So,
and we'll
yeah.
list that, too.
Yeah, thank you. It's
you can find that.
LEGALITEA, just like it sounds, The Legality Podcast.
awesome.
All right.
Well, thank you again for
And I
coming.
appreciate this was fun.
Yeah, wasn't
yeah.
it fun?
Yeah.
And we're going to go, I'm going to leave y'all with my little positive hair quote, and that is, all hair is good if it's healthy.
Okay. Okay, so Yeni. All right, so that concludes Hair and Whatever. Y'all know where to follow us. If y'all don't, is Hair and Whatever podcast on YouTube, SoundCloud, and iTunes podcast.
All right.
And Instagram.
Instagram,
Can't forget
too.
about the Instagram.
Instagram.
Yeah. So peace
We
and
out.
love and light.
Peace and hair grease, right?
Right, right. Hair grease. Not creamy crack.
There you go.